Good morning. My name is Tammy Maxine, and all of us at Unity Spiritual Center of Windsor welcome you and our special guests today. Today's conversation is called Here Comes the Judge by Reverend Jim Lee. As of now, Jim is senior minister at Unity Las Vegas after 12 years of senior ministry at Renaissance Unity in Michigan. Today's meditation is guided by Lisa Lee. We hope you enjoy today's specially recorded messages. Join Reverend David next week live for a talk already lined up called The Real You. Amen. Enjoy.
Hello, Unity Spiritual Center of Windsor. My name is Jim Lee. Some of you may know me. For several years, I was the senior minister at Renaissance Unity in Warren. It is there I got an opportunity to speak in Windsor a few times, but it's there also that I met Reverend David O. We became friends and colleagues, and I think a lot of him. And so when he invited me to share a lesson with you, I said absolutely yes. So with this, may you be filled and nurtured today, and my prayer for you is that each and every one of you are filled with the Holy Spirit, connected with your divine nature, fulfilling your magnificent purpose and lifting yourself up, your ministry up to be all that you are designed to be. I see you doing this with ease and grace through the name and nature of Jesus the Christ and the Christ presence within. Love is the way. God bless. Here comes the judge. Here comes the judge. I'm willing to assert that each and every one of us as an inner judge. Now, this inner judge, gosh, it has many voices. Sometimes this inner judge could sound like Judge Judy or could come in your own voice. And the inner judge takes a look at everything that goes on, and it will let you know, oh, you're guilty. Oh, you're ashamed or blame or something like that. And that inner judge does not leave you feeling good. In fact, it leaves you feeling anxious, fearful, anger, could even lead to depression. This inner judge is really blocking our divine magnificence with these other chatter in our head. And once the judge finds us guilty, we find ourselves saying things like, I'm such a jerk. How could I have said that? How could I have done that? Or I'm a loser. I'll never get anywhere. We find ourselves saying, I'm so stupid. I should have learned this by now. Has us saying, I don't fit in. I don't belong with these people. This is a good one. I use this a lot on myself. I'm not good enough. I'm flawed. I'm less than. I am not enough. And then this one, of course, is I'm not lovable. If you knew me, really knew me, you would see who I really am, and you wouldn't love me. I'm not lovable. Do you resemble any of those statements at any point in your life? And if so, that was your inner judge. Here comes that judge. And it's times that we feel this, we want to be free of it. And gosh, it comes around so much now, I even justify sometimes the judge and says, you know what? I'm going to beat myself up before anybody else beats me up. And gosh, I've done that so much. Some people have said some things to me, and they think that they've really put me down, but they just don't know. I put myself down more than they did. That's what we do. That's the inner judge. Or we can think that, and I've thought this and see if you think this too. Sometimes, if I judge myself like this, it will be like an inner motivator. Like if I just beat myself up, that I get motivated to do good. Come on. Those kinds of thoughts and thinking, that's outdated. That's an old paradigm to beat yourself up, to keep yourself in line, and so you can do good. So like in the Old Testament, the Hebrew Israelites came out of the Ur of Chaldees over 2,000 years ago. And when they did, Abraham led them out. They were a group of people who were, quote unquote, let's say nomads. They, let's say, didn't have a lot of morals and ethics about them. And so they needed a strong, forceful God that was like a judge that could keep them in line because they were unruly. And that's the reason why the 10 Commandments is filled up with a whole bunch of thou shalt nots and making you feel guilty if you do that. That was great back then. Excellent training wheels. Well, we have evolved now. It's time to let those training wheels go. We're time to ride this bike now. In fact, it's time to fly. In order to do that, we want to revisit this judge, and maybe he's not quite what we think it is. I'm looking at us now as there is a way out of getting into this old paradigm of thinking into this new way of being. This is a new day. And with this new day, with this New Testament called the Gospel, Jesus the Christ led the way, and he says it's all about love. Love God, love your neighbor, love yourself. This is what we're going to do with this inner judge now. We are going to start to love ourselves with compassion. And so when the inner judge comes up, we're now going to take a different look at this inner judge, and we're going to welcome this inner judge and say, you know what? I know what you're here for. You are not here to be against me. You're here for me. Therefore, we're going to reinterpret, reinvent, reframe the judge from being an obstacle, something that's holding us back, to something that will let us free. For the old way of thinking has us in a jail. It is time to get out of jail free by using the Jesus Christ method, and that is of love and compassion directed towards ourselves. And as we look at loving this judge, the judge then transmutes itself from being this hardcore, hey, look, you're guilty. Then it transforms, and then it becomes like a pointer. You know, I saw a picture of a English pointer dog. And it's so amazing. What it does is when it goes hunting, it lets the hunter know exactly where the animal is, and it points to it. I love it. So the inner judge now is like a pointer, and is pointing to the parts of us that needs to be healed. As the Reverend Dr. Michael Beckwith says, what is revealed can be healed. And now the inner judge is pointing to a part of us, our unconscious part of us, that we really didn't know, but now it's revealed. The judge is pointing to it, and it's just something that needs to be healed. For example, if we have this saying like, oh my God, look what I've done. Look what I said. I'm such a jerk. That's an interesting statement. But if we look at it, with love, my beloved brothers and sisters, Everybody makes a mistake. Everybody does something wrong, but it doesn't make you a jerk. It doesn't make you stupid. And all the times that we make a mistake, it still does not make us that, but now the judge will have us guilty, but it doesn't mean that we're a failure. Thomas Edison has he says, I have found 10,000 ways that won't work. And he says, I didn't fail. Each time that something didn't work, that just let me know that doesn't work. If Thomas Edison had bought in to an inner judge or an inner critic every time he did something and it didn't work, we wouldn't have the 1,800 inventions that he brought into our lives. As a matter of fact, we are coming to you now because of Thomas Edison's inventions that allow all of this to take place. So here we are, 2020, going through life, this radiant, luminous being that we're stepping into a new way of thinking. We got to use the spiritual muscle of transforming this inner judge and critic to point to areas just need some compassion. So just take a moment now. What does it feel like to love yourself? All of yourself with compassion. And what does it feel like to point that love at that judge and allow the judge to point to an area that says, oh, I'm unworthy? All it is saying is there's a part of you that's crying out for love. So give yourself love. That's all it's saying. So that you can be the light that you are. And every time you start to feed those parts of you that are, let's say, dark or hidden, or you really don't want to look at, or we call it our shadow, and we invite love to be there, it opens us up. Those areas become light. And then the wonderful thing is our magnificence can start to show more and more. Our authentic self starts to become real, alive. Now, this isn't anything we have to do. The more we start to reframe that inner judge, we then can allow our magnificence to come forward. We don't have to make it, force it, try to determine that this is how it's going to be. We just allow. We can relax in this. So the more we love ourselves, and I would say just be so compassionate with ourselves, life will become anew. We really start to ascend. Now, the other part about this, I want to include a little hook to this. As we start to work on ourselves and love all of the parts of ourselves and the shadow work and the things that we feel like are not good, we start to recognize something that we become free. But then I want you to know this is a unified field of consciousness. We're really all one. And we can then, as we start to work on ourselves and free ourselves, it goes into the consciousness field, and other people now become open and receptive to start freeing themselves, releasing themselves from those inner jails and blocks that they have in their minds and their hearts. That's really an illusion. That's not the truth, because you're a magnificent child of God. And the only thing that's blocking you is your erroneous beliefs about yourself. And as we work through this, we work through for other people as well. So this is, I would say God is going to get a lot of good mileage out of this, because you're freeing yourself. You're going to free others. Now is the time. And so everything that's going on now, and people sometimes can get caught up in all kinds of thoughts about themselves. We're now going to free them up and free ourselves up. Now is the time for us to move on. And we've talked about this in some wonderful ways, but it's time now for us to take a look at this internally. I want us to look at it mystically. I want us to take a look at our essential self. And the main thing I want us to do is embrace, love the judge. She's absolutely wonderful. She's here for you and not against you. Let's experience it on a deep level.
Love the judge. Look the judge right in the eye and see her. She looks like you. You are made from the same cloth. To cut her off is to sever your own limbs. Trace her existence to its source, around those sharp edges, past the piercing daggers, and find your own longing for safety and protection there. She is created of this desire, and she is so capable here, relentless, fierce, and strong, truly a faithful servant. The way to be free is to love all the way through. Do not turn from her wounding of you, but bring her into your light and into your heart. Bring in every part of her and show her the deepest part of your soul, the place in you that has nothing to defend, nothing to prove, the place where you have never been hurt and are forever safe. There is a new strength, a new fierceness and relentlessness here that is trustable, effortless, and capable beyond hers. She can only be at rest here, sensing this larger safety of your essence, and she longs to be at rest in you. So let's, through meditation now, take these words in deeper and really go on a journey of the soul together with this. So begin, if you feel comfortable, just closing your eyes and taking gentle breaths in and out, and imagining that you are breathing in and out of your heart. And notice the more that you are breathing in and out of your heart, that you begin to get a sense of an inner radiance, an inner warmth, and a glow. And as you continue to breathe, notice how this inner radiance and glow begins to expand throughout your entire being. And continue as you're breathing to allow the warmth and the light of this heart to cross the boundaries of your thoughts, your feelings, and your physical body out into the world. Sense the heart presence of all of life, and even sense into the earth itself as a living being present in this space with you. And know that what you do in this time of meditation is not only for you personally, but profoundly affects everything and everyone in the universe. So sense now the heart of the universe here with you in this moment, open and vulnerable to you, and receiving the gift of your journey. So as you're continuing to breathe, find a place in you where your inner judge has been active, where you can hear the voice of this inner judge. Something in your life that where judgment has been pointing and where you have experienced an inner criticism. And as you are finding this place, continue to breathe through it. And notice that there is a through line. There is a line there where you can trace all the way back to its origin. So allow your imagination now to follow this line all the way back to the longing for safety and security. And embrace this part of yourself that is longing for this safety and security. Is there a younger version of yourself here? Perhaps it is you as a little child. Just continue to breathe into this part of yourself. And sense here into the intention of your inner judge in this place, the protection that is being offered, that is being provided, and the persistence that is there. And see how your judge is very accomplished here, very good at her job, and express gratitude. Now sense into this larger part of yourself, the self we call the essential self. The part of you that is beyond and yet includes your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, and your physical body. Thomas Merton says, at the center of our being is a point of nothingness that is untouched by sin and by illusion, a point of pure truth, a point or spark which belongs entirely to God, which is never at our disposal, but from which God disposes our lives, which is inaccessible to the fantasies of our mind or the brutalities of our own will. It is like a pure diamond, blazing with the invisible light of heaven. It is in everybody. And if we could see it, we would see these billions of points of light coming together in the face and the blaze of a sun that would make all the darkness and cruelty of life vanish completely. So let your heart just expand with this truth of who you really are. And see that in your heart there is so much room here. And so take this little child that is longing for safety and security by the hand and bring her into this place in your heart, allowing this delicate part of you to be surrounded by and enveloped by the brilliance of the light that is here. And now invite your inner judge into this spaciousness with you. Allow your inner judge to find rest in this larger safety that your essential self provides. Allow all parts of your judge to be present here and allow them to take rest in this new strength, in this new safety, and to feel the large capability that is here in your essential self. Feel the wholeness in this embrace of the many parts of you. Sense into how beautiful and brilliant your light can be in this embrace of all of these parts and this sense of home. Rumi says, out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there. When the soul lies down in that grass, the world is too full to talk about. Continue to breathe in the expansiveness of this field, in this freedom. that is you. And now bring your awareness once again to your heart connection to the universe, to all beings and all things in the universe. And sense the gratitude coming towards you for this act of love and healing that is now represented energetically throughout the cosmos.
We appreciate Reverend Jim for reminding us to look at the areas in our life that need more self-love, and by recognizing that our inner judge is here to reveal what can be healed. I want to thank Reverend Jim Lee once again for providing this talk for us, and Lisa for your meditation. Thanks everyone for joining us today, and a special thanks for all your support. If you would like to donate, we appreciate your tithes and your love offerings. There are several ways to do that. You can contact us via e-transfer, PayPal. The donate button is right on our website. Or you can mail checks to our office in Windsor. All of this information and more can be found on our Unity Spiritual Center of Windsor website, www.unityofwindsor.org. Again, thank you for being with us today. Let us close with our offering, blessing, and prayer for protection. Divine love in me and through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And our prayer for protection: the light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence. And wherever we are, God is, and I am divine. Amen, and have a wonderful week.
If you want more love, give love. If you want more joy, give joy. If you want more peace, give peace. If you want more, just give. If you want more, all you got to do is give. If you want more money, give your money. If you want more time, give of your time. If you want more friends, be a friend. If you want more, just give. If you want more, all you gotta do is give. 'Cause when you give, you receive. It's as simple as that. There's no effort, no struggle, just a simple fact. If you wanna see a change, be the change. If you wanna have more truth, whoa, tell your truth. If you want more gratitude, give thanks. If you want more, give. If you want more, all you got to do is give. 'Cause when you give, you receive. It's as simple as that. There's no effort, no struggle, just a simple fact. That's right, Jack. If you want to see a change, be the change. If you want to have more truth, whoa, just tell your truth. If you want more gratitude, give thanks. If you want more, give. If you want more, all you gotta do is give. If you want more, what you gonna do? Give. If you want more, all you gotta do is give.